Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for tonight's episode of Synautic Drift. Our tale will take place in the original homebrew world of Proteum Joeys, known as Zodiac. Zodiac is a diverse world full of open minded people and is highly rewarded to those who seek adventures and thrills. Only 23 years ago, the world was constantly plagued by war between the gods of Zodiac before a new pantheon of gods who were champions of the people removed them from power and led to a period of peace. However, as we all know, peace is not quite so easy, and there are a slew of issues that have arisen from the New World Order, as well as a law of non killing for all those who live in this world. Before we jump into our action for tonight, I would like to thank our sponsors Roll20 and VZ3D Works. Roll20 is the leading site for all TTRPGs, letting you play a variety of games as though you were still sitting at a table with your friends and party members. Be sure to go to roll20.net and get to playing a massive selection of games right from the comfort of your own home. And of course, VZ3D Works is a phenomenal shop full of 3D printed and useful assets for role players of all kinds. And actually, Kai, would you like to show off your amazing mug from them and talk a bit about them for us?
Yeah, sure. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yes, yes. Okay, perfect. Oh gosh, I guess I can show it off when we switch it. There we go. So I've got this beautiful wizard mug from them. It's from their Mythic mug collection. They also have Fates and Dice Towers, which are absolutely gorgeous. These items are 3D printed, but they've also been primed and sanded to a point where you can paint them as soon as you get them in. And they have a beautiful collection. I am eyeing some of their dice jails.
Yes.
Yeah. We should have a link to them either in chat or where is that? Where is that link to their Etsy shop? Where is that? Thank you. Thanks, Nightbot.
There you go. So please visit their shop on Etsy. They have so many wonderful things there. And if you would like to support the channel and this game, please see the tips section below the stream for all the information about how you could donate bits and make this even better for all of us. But I think it's about time to meet our amazing cast right now. So let's jump back to Kai. Would you like to talk a bit about yourself and who you are to the internet?
Hi, everybody. My name is Kai. I'm a Trashfire NB. I identify as he or they, and today I'll be playing Bital, who is a fate, a prophet of fate. Mechanically speaking, he's a grave cleric. Narratively speaking, he's kind of like party uncle, I guess, party weird uncle. And we played a session 0, and I'm looking forward to cleaning up after everybody for once. I am not the mess maker, I think, here, which is an interesting experience.
I'm pretty sure everyone's a little bit of a mess maker here for my faint of heart, but we'll make it through that. Thank you very much, Kai. And Thanks. Let's go on to everyone's lovely voice actor over here, Joshua. Why don't you tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Well, hello there, everybody. My name is Joshua Waters, and as Varsuvius has said, I am a voice actor. You might have heard my work in things like Death Battle or the game Blush Blush. I'm going to be playing Alivor today, an acrobat rogue goblin who is going to cause all the mischief that Batal will inevitably have to clean up.
Yeah, yep. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing quite a good amount of hijinks.
At least during session 0.
Boy, yeah, that's foreshadowing for many things to come, I am sure. Thank you very much, Joshua. And how about we go to Miss Buns next? Tell everyone a bit about yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Buns. I can be found on, here, and on Goldheart coming up, and on Magpie Games if you ever want to play a superhero. I also do that. But here I'm going to be playing Kalir. Kalir is a Whisper Bard and half orc, and they're definitely going to cause trouble. I'm not sorry.
Well, we'll see how much sorry I am after a few sessions of everything that's about to happen, I am sure. Thank you very much, Buns. And Miss Adelaide, I think it's about time everyone finds out a bit more about you. Would you like to tell everyone a bit about yourself, please?
Yes, I am Adelaide Gardner. You can find me at OAdelaide on Twitter and everywhere else. I am a TTRPG creator and professional role player. I am 1/7 now, I guess. We've expanded our team of action fiction where we make role playing games such as Monsters of Merca, Cryptid's Chronicle. My game will be coming out sometime called Anomaly, which is a D12 based game. I'm also in shows like this one, Fate Forge Academy. I have my own shows now on every other Sunday and Monday. That's a Vampire the Masquerade game on Sundays and Castle Falkenstein on Mondays. Those are also fully cosplayed. And they're phenomenal cast. Go check them out. Oh my gosh. I got to get the VODs up this week. So good. So good shows. That's a bit about me. That's it.
Thank you very much, Adelaide. So when you just decide you can't get enough of her, go check out all those places she just said. And Brian, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, please, and introduce yourself to the wonders of the internet and horrors.
Hello, my name is Brian Sayo. This is my first live streamed anything. So very excited to get that started. If you want to see me anywhere else, you can't. Sorry. But if this gets big, maybe you will. I'm on Twitter at all_that_BS. I'm afraid I don't have as many things to plug as everyone else, but I am so excited to get started.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. So, you guys, when you follow for Brian, you just know that we are giving you a gift here with his presence. Unfortunately, our sixth cast member is Nilos. He's not able to make it tonight, but he will be joining us next episode, and you'll get his entire introduction there. So if you like accents, you can't miss next episode. Trust me, you're gonna regret it. As for myself, I am Varsuvius. I'm an avid player of TTRPGs from all across the spectrum. There ain't one that I found that I don't really that I dislike that much so far, whether it be fantasy, sci-fi, modern, anything. I think this hobby is absolutely wonderful in the way that it brings people together. And it's a really amazing time to get into TTRPGs. I mean, look at all these wonderful creators around me. And, the community is just great. I love telling stories, and you can find me basically anywhere on the internet as Varsuvius. It's on Twitter and all that good stuff. So, I think that's about a good time for us to settle in to tonight's actual episode and get things started a little bit. So, the year is 23 PZG, post Zodiac gods. A tenuous peace holds over the world of Zodiac, and murder of any sort is strictly forbidden, no matter how justified it may seem to you. The gods have decreed that they wish to see Zodiac progress as a world without the need for war, the wars that they so often held in the past. Thusly, the world has tried to progress past their older years of war and worked towards new policies that are not mandated by the gods. However, peace is not so easy to keep after years and years of wars and political turmoil and tensions rising and simply being stretched over time rather than immediately acted upon. Politicians of some sorts have quickly taken to abusing their seats of power, and the generations are split on their opinion of the New World Order. Our wonderful group here set off from the city of Morion a few weeks ago, heading out to the south, past Soutide. You have all been charged with investigating the disappearance of a few people in a small hamlet known as Quen, a small settlement that has recently reported a few missing people in the most modern times. You have been given a cart that is loaded with enough food supplies to last for a few months if necessary, and some provisions, such as basic weapons and armor, should the worst arise. To your knowledge, 3 people have gone missing over these past few months. None of them are related by blood. The specifics are part of your investigation, as the reports have been relatively sparse. As you wake up in the morning, we see a rather dapper looking human man as Vital saunters in onto the field. So, Kai, would you like to describe to everyone what Vital looks like?
Vital is a gentleman about 5'8", very long, wavy hair, medium olive skin. He's covered in a variety of scars that look like they're a little bit faded to time. Very hairy, a bit unkempt, a little bit of a swagger in his walk. And he's wearing layers and layers of vests and other clothing, some leather, some cotton, um, tall boots that look worn with age. Doesn't seem to dress up, though a lot of the garments that he wears are very nice, just kind of old, worn, uh, salted from the sea and years of working on them. Um, he pauses a
Very
moment
good.
to take a star off of his sash and examine it. It looks a bit like a compass from far away, with multiple points on it. Then he puts it back.
And so, as you rise first in the morning of your group, you see that the weather is rather fair this time of year. Knowing the section of Zodiac you're in, you expected tropical weather, which is something that you are not unaccustomed to. And not too long after you wake up, you see your good friend Oliver wake up with the same grin he always has, as he is ready to tackle any given day. So, Joshua, would you like to describe Alivor to everyone and the general gait he has as he walks side by side with Vital?
Well, Alivor is a short little goblin man, covered pretty much all over with different types of jewelry, goggles, piercings, anything that he could scrounge up in his findings. He wears a very bright and kind of pristine looking circus jacket at all times, but everything below it seems a bit more battered and less well kept. His hair is pretty shaggy at all times and doesn't really take too much time other than this jacket to make himself presentable.
And so, with knowing grin shared between your characters, you both see into the early morning, and not too far behind you, Collier is seemingly ready to tackle the day. You don't know if they've been awake for very long, but she certainly seems to be ready to go at the day and tackle it properly. So, Buns, would you like to describe Collier to our wonderful viewers?
Of course I would. So Collier is like they're actually shorter than most people. They are only like five, like six. They're like a bit shorter than be tall. They have pastel hair. It is their natural color. And they very much so the clothing that they have and even their hair, which has little pieces of gold like shards all throughout of it. Everything about them kind of says, "Look at me," but you never really notice them until they're there. Uh, Other than that, they have a small tusk, um, very bright clothing and makeup. Like I said, everything is very much so notice me, but no one ever seems to until they want them to.
Very good. And so Collier is taking care of some preparations to clean up the camp that you have all made, as you know that you're just a little bit away from town. And of course, side by side, not far behind her, is Rosalba. And would you like to describe Rosalba to all of us, Adelaide?
Yes, Rosalba is pretty wide awake. She's an early riser. She is a UNT pureblood. Very, very pale skin, almost completely monochrome. She's gold scales on her forehead and on her shoulders. And lots of snakes are coming out of her hair, kind of sleeked back, not wild, tangled Medusa craziness, just very prim and proper, grays and blacks and whites. But she wears very bright clothing, lots of blues and golds. She looks very high class, essentially. Perfect nails, great face. She's ready to go. Doesn't even look like she's been traveling in the wilderness for a while, although it's definitely not her mode of travel. She's minding her business.
Exactly so. So Rosalba is being a bit of an overseer during the morning as she's already take care of her preparations as she
Kind
is
of dictating tasks instead of actually doing them herself.
exactly so. As Rosalba, she likes to keep things under control and she's good at doing so when she needs to be. And Leong, as the rest of your party members are awake, it is a bit more difficult for you to stay asleep. And it's about time for you to get up yourself. So, Brian, would you like to describe Leong to our audience?
Absolutely. Leong is definitely the last of any group to ever show up. Especially, he's not a very good morning person whatsoever. By the time he's there, he's still kind of got like gunk in his eyes. His like ears are just kind of drooping downwards. Leong is a 7 foot 2 inch furbolg. He is dressed in, yeah, a little taller than Alivor, just a bit. He is dressed in a kind of Chinese-inspired, I want to say gi or like top and pants look, with a little furred cloaklet around his shoulders. On his head, he wears a conical rice paddy hat. It's woven of fibers on the top, but under the brim you see it's painted black with constellations painted into the rim underneath. And on his fingers, the only jewelry he wears are these 10 very rustic rings made from stone and wood, but each inlaid with a crystal that holds tiny little motes of light that kind of float around.
And so, now that Leong has woken from his slumber and you're all ready to tackle the day, you see that Gertie has already made some breakfast for all of you. It's just some simple rations, some quick eggs, and a small morning fresh salad of some sort. As he offers to drive the cart as you all head into the little hamlet. And it is only a few hours of travel as you all hop back into the cart as you are continuing the road, and you can see the hamlet as you are approaching it. It is a rather small settlement, as you can tell. The tallest building is only 2 stories. The houses seem to be much longer and wider, spread out more so than they are vertically made. As you're getting closer, you can see that there appears to be something of a main square in this place. As you can see a few children tossing around what appears to be a leather ball of some sort between them, and there is a small flower garden nearby as well. As your cart reaches the edge of town, you see a Githzerai walking towards you with a long gray hair and a ponytail hanging down past his hip, and wearing a simple garb and a cloth belt around his waist. He smiles as he approaches you all with his hands behind his back. Welcome. I take it you must be the party from Marion. As he bows towards all of you, my name is Jiaran, and I'll be assisting you as I help with some of the more political affairs here in our lovely hamlet.
It's a pleasure.
Very nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so...
I don't know why that made me laugh.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. Here is start of a horrible trend. How do you spell this? How do you spell this name?
His name is spelled XI apostrophe ARAN.
D&D, baby.
Very much so. And he says, I take it has been a bit of a travel for all of you, but I do hope it has been mostly pleasant. Please, if you would like to see your cart somewhere, we have a small stable of sorts for the few visitors we do have here. And please, we can come to my abode to talk for a moment, if you would all like to.
Happen to have any grub there?
But of course, I would not be so rude as to not offer my guests some food.
Thank goodness we've been traveling for way too long off of these terrible rations.
Well, I do hope you'll find my food to your liking then, Sir
Alivor.
Alivor. Sir Alivor, a lovely name.
I know.
I lean over as surreptitiously as I can for the like 4 feet of difference between our height. I just was, Alivor, you've been eating the buns we took for the entire trip.
He doesn't know that.
All right.
Collier's like, and then tries
Yes.
to like go up straight again.
Terrible rations.
Absolutely awful.
Well, that is truly a shame. Please, come. And he will slowly walk through, kind of as Gertie, drives the cart behind this man. And he takes you to his home, which is relatively small, all things considered. There looks like there's maybe only half a dozen rooms or so in his house. It is made out of a simple, like, stone walls around it with some tile roofing on top of it. And there's a small gate of a door that he opens up as he motions for a small spot for you to have the cart parked. Gertie volunteers to take care of the cart and make sure that any other preparations are taken care of, as he will be seen to tuning his instrument. And as you're all invited into the house, you see that it is a pretty quaint place. It looks like it is well furnished. You see that the items within the house are well made. There are a few windows in the back, as there is a kitchen that seems to connect rather closely to this front room, as you can see. And there are a few chairs spread around, but there seems to be a main table, which there are several chairs sat around already. There doesn't seem to be any sort of hierarchical order to these chairs. They all seem to be of the same make and fashion. And you can see upon the table there is a small spread of various cooked meats, as well as a rather large salad. He has various fruits. There's some tomato, a bit of cheese in there, as well as a variety of leafed greens within the actual bowl that he is serving with. And there are already plates set out for all of you. There are both wine glasses and regular cups made out of wood nearby, as he seems to have a small pitcher of water. And he takes a seat at the table and says, please do come and please sit.
Well, dig in, everybody. There's so much food here.
I think you've had a bit of enough. You
Eh,
get
you
stomach
don't.
ache every time you ever eat.
Well, that just means that it was good food. You don't have a stomach ache if you have bad food, right?
Yes, but it does slow our travel down for about 2 hours after each meal.
And we are here on matters of business.
But it's so worth it.
For you.
Yeah, for me.
What's the spread looking like? You said there was
This is
There
a
was
food-based
salad.
campaign.
food-based campaign.
So it is a spread that is certainly made for, about as many people as you have here. It is not an extravagant meal. It looks like this is pretty much all made by hand. These vegetables look like they're rather fresh as far as you can tell. So there is a large salad bowl that seems to have, there's 2 salad bowls, one on either end of the table. It is a lengthwise long table with the seats laid out around it. And there's one that's within reasonable reach of people who are sitting on either side. In the middle, there is a wooden board that has you can't tell exactly what type of meat off first glance of it, that has various slices of meat already chopped apart. It seems to be rather fresh, as it was probably very recently taken out of the oven that would be in the household. And there is also a small basket that has a few small dinner rolls within it as well. And there is a stick of butter as well, with a knife that is ready to be spread on the butter if you so wish. And there are a few little containers that have some jams within them as well.
Now you're speaking my language.
You said rolls, and me and Oliver went with.
Alivor walks over to the table and starts stacking way too high a plate for himself.
Khalil's just gonna come up behind you, just knock half of it on the plate, and then go sit down.
I was gonna eat that. You know I was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there is plenty of food for all of you to eat. Please come. Now, I'm sure the journey has been long, and, well, communication between Huen and Orion is a bit difficult at times. So please tell me all that you know, and I will give you any assistance I can.
Well, we were not informed of much, just that there was missing people, 3 at least.
Yes, I was informed that we would be receiving information when we arrived here.
Everyone does love that one. Yes, well, indeed. So, as of the past 3 months, there's been 1 disappearance a month. There hasn't been much consistency to some. The first disappearance happened only in the 2nd week, in the middle of said week. The second disappearance happened at the end of the month, so it was a rather wide gap. We had not put a link together at that time, but just the next week after that, another person went missing, but they were all separated by the actual months, and that has been cause for some alarm, as we hope perhaps it was an isolated incident or simply a unfortunate happening. But with 3 disappearances in as many months, some of them seeming to get closer rather than farther apart, we requested some assistance from Orion.
Has there been any sign of of struggle at the residence of the members of this town who've gone missing, or any signs of such abduction?
No, the only one that was taken away from their home in the midst of the night was the second one. They were a young adult boy. He was sleeping as best we know, and the next day he was no longer in his room. The others, we don't know exactly when they went missing. The third missing member of our little enclosure here went missing in the midst of the day. They went out to gather something from the forests nearby, and they simply never returned. The first one, well, they kept a bit secluded to themselves, so it may have been some time before we noticed they were missing, but when we realized we had not seen them for a few days, our own little investigation showed the house to be empty. And he seems to pause for a moment, then says, that was most likely the strangest of the 3. When we went to that house, it appears as though they were just in the middle of living their day as normal. There was an unfinished meal on the table, and there were still the makings of the food left out. It seems as they were just interrupted right in the middle of the meal, but as I said before, there was no sign of any struggle.
But we will require full access to their homes to conduct our own investigations, of course.
Of course, yes. Fortunately, not all of them live by themselves, but the first home should be able to give you a good idea of what to expect in the homes of this area.
Alivor takes a big bite of one of the buns that he has and goes, "Do I have any names? For the people missing, I mean."
Yes, so the first was a hobgoblin named Halassa. She is an integral member of our community, though she is not as social as many others may be within here. Many people like to work side by side and talk quite regularly, trade recipes and have each other over for dinner, but Halassa, she wasn't one of those people. She kept to herself, did her due diligence, and that was mostly it. It is why we have no idea exactly when she went missing. Our young orc boy who went missing, his name was Tulkor, and he was mostly good for helping out with the various tasks that people have. He was training to be a bit of a carpenter, and so he would do wood chopping often, and I believe that must have been what he was going out to search for, perhaps a particular type of wood or a particularly useful stone, rather tool or implement. he may
Do
have
you
found
have
in the
anything like
forest.
that in this area that it's harder to find or rare?
Uh, but stories. He wasn't young enough to believe them, I don't think. But there are sayings that there are some particularly tough ironwood trees in the forest, but there's no one who's ever reported actually finding any. I don't suspect he would have been foolish enough to go looking for one, as they would have to be in a place that is more precarious. But we checked around any of the nooks and crannies that may have been more dangerous. We saw no signs of anyone being near there, unless they were simply covered up.
And what
And-
about the young boy who was taken from his house?
The young boy, yes, one of the young kobolds in our neighborhood. His name was Flea. A rambunctious young boy. His siblings are very active and kind to all those that they come across. And, well, I don't know what to say. He was a young rambunctious boy who liked to enjoy playing around in the neighborhood, often maybe causing a bit of mischief, but at that age, who can blame them? And those are all three missing peoples.
Are there no connections between them?
Other than that, they live within our community, and not particularly as far as I can tell. As I said, Lhasa was more of one who preferred to work in the fields. And Flea was but a boy. I mean, there was little much that he could do. I cannot think of a connection between them.
What does Flea have?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
How many brothers, sisters, siblings?
Flea has two other siblings, an older brother Rex and a younger sister Atala.
Need to talk to them.
And no one in the town reports seeing anything in tandem to these disappearances?
No, not that I'm aware of. We've asked people to come forth if they have seen anything, and it has been, well, almost 3 months since the first disappearance. And that is all. That is why it's such a conundrum for us. We're a small community. There are not too many of us here. So even a single person going missing can be problematic for our normal way of life here.
I certainly don't mean to be accusatory, but usually, in missing cases such as these, so I've never worked on one before, something tends to happen just before. Is there anything you're not telling us?
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check, Adelaide.
I can do that. 9.
Oh, baby.
9. Okay, and he
Happens.
said, he tilts over for a second and says, No, I don't believe there's anything of particular interest that's happened before any of this. Do you have any ideas? It seems like you may have.
Well, I'm
worked
not
out
really
something
from a
like this before.
small town, but I do know that small towns, everyone tends to know everything that's going on.
Things don't tend to
Go ahead.
Things don't tend to happen in small towns unless something of note happens. Well, bit of a circular reasoning, but my point still stands. Attention isn't drawn to towns such as these unless something has arrived or...
Yeah, I'm more
Like a
interested
fair or a
in-
circus.
Yeah, I'm more interested in when they were taken. You have one that was taken in the middle of the month, one that was taken closer to the end of the month, and then a third that was just taken in the middle of the day. And not so much that the way that they were taken corresponds, but at the time they were taken, there's nothing that correlates with those times, nothing that correlates with that time of month that happens in town at all.
Not so much, as it has become autumn lately. I mean, harvest changes and some shifts move around. It's about as best as I can understand what may be connecting them to each other. We don't have much of a nightlife here. Once it gets dark, most people return to their houses and simply stay in with their families if they have them, or simply keep to themselves. There's not a whole lot to do out here, other than perhaps go visit the coast, but that'd be some time. It's more of a day trip rather than something you would do in the midst of the night.
Or Olasa, what is it that Olasa did? Like you say that she works in the fields, but what kind of work was it?
Yeah, she simply went out to help sow the fields, and if there was anything that was needing some more muscle, she would often be happy to help anyone. She didn't really spend time with any particular people here, so if anyone else came out to pick fruit, or if they needed help to sow the fields, or her opinions on any sort of gardening, she handled that. She wasn't very good at flowers, though.
So, is her house near the forest?
I suppose relatively speaking, Sheer House is a bit more out of the immediate community. Sort of stand out a bit.
Okay. Interesting.
I'd say the first course of action should be going over to their houses where they disappeared.
I'd actually quite like to take a look at, I believe it was Flea's house? He was the one who disappeared from his home.
Yes, the uncoupled boy.
It seems like that is at least to me, the most prudent place to start, as we don't exactly know where the other two disappeared from.
I agree.
That's a fair point. Yes, you are more than welcome to. I am sure that Tara and Co would be more than happy to have some assistance finding the little boy.
Do you mind if I took some of this with? Gestures.
Certainly, if you wish to take some with you. I'm afraid I don't have much for you to carry it in, but if you think you can carry it in a bag or in your hands, you're more than welcome to.
I stare at Batal.
We've eaten so many of those pies already. I'm sure there's room.
No, you've eaten so many of those pies already.
I was hungry, and you know it.
Alivor is a growing boy. Yeah, I'll carry some.
Why do you help them?
Why not?
And they just take a bunch and just go, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'll enjoy, but I'm a complain.
All right. Off to Flea's house, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, and so you are led towards a rather large house, all things considered. You can see that it seems to have a goodly number of rooms, and there may be something of a central yard that is in between the actual hallways of the house. And you pass by the town squares where you can see a few of the children still playing around their balls. A few of them are simply sitting on or their parents are sitting on the benches nearby for them to watch over them. They seem to be a bit protective. They don't seem to pay you all as a group much particular mind, as they are happily watching as you pass through the town. And as you get to the front of the house, before you even really get to knocking on the door, you can already see the door opening, where you see a small orange-scaled kobold girl who is even quite a bit small. She is obviously very young, and she doesn't meet any of you even near chest level. She says, "Hello, who are you?"
Well, hi there, little lady. We're here to figure something out. Do you happen to know if there's an adult around?
Oh, yeah. Ma! As she shouts out towards the house, and you can see an adult kobold woman who is around the same height as Alivor come forth, and she has like an apron on, and she seems to be kind of dusting herself off as she comes in front of the door. She's like, huh? Yes, darling. Pardon me. Hello, everyone. Is there something I can help you all with? You all appear to be outsiders of some sort.
Yes, we're here on the case of the, should we say this? Disappearances that have been happening in the area.
And her eyes kind of just focus on you for a bit before she just nods her head and says, Yes, okay, sure. You are welcome to come in. Um, she nods her head and she just turns around and her young daughter follows behind her and kind of like runs up and it just like reaches out to hold on to her apron as she leads into the house. The inside of this house is a bit of a mess. You can tell that this is a family that has multiple children that don't really clean up after their messes. She seems to be in the middle of baking something, as you can see, like a ball of dough that isn't quite all the way made yet, resting on one of the nearby counters. And she says, "Oh, pardon the mess. We have some very active children, and well, you know, it is a bit difficult to clean up sometimes. Why don't we just sit on the ground over here?" And you can see there's a few like cushions that are like floor pillows of some sort for all of you all to sit on.
I have a question, like a spatial question. You said this was a
Sure.
kobold.
Yes.
Is the house kobold size? Are we like sort of?
Oh no.
Not me.
Oh
Not
boy.
me.
And I love the mental image of Alivor just being like, "Well, hello, little lady," and he's like eye height with this child. Like,
So it is not quite exactly kobold size, but it is probably a smaller house than most of you are used to walking through. The ceiling is, just under like just about 6 feet tall. So like
Okay.
Leong, you're definitely having to
Leong.
like crouch down a little bit to just be able to kind of walk normally in here. But things are spacious. Like despite the fact that they are an entire family of kobolds, they do seem to be at least somewhat privy to the general, comfort level of other races that are taller than they are.
I
and of
look at
larger size.
Leong.
It's like Gandalf in Bilbo's house. Just
I look at Leong and I go, man, what a long trip here.
I feel bad for Rosalba.
why?
Aren't they huge?
No, she's like 5'8". She's
Okay.
She's
Alright, cool.
tall, but like,
Leong's the tallest.
I thought you were either the same height or taller than Leon.
oh god, step on me. Yeah, no, that would be great, but no.
If only.
If only.
This is a fictional game.
Quick retcon.
No, too late.
I should have said it earlier.
I feel like if Rosalba's too tall though, since she is like Ranty, she can kind of just like lower her body and just like become more snake-like,
Right. Who needs a vertebrae?
Who needs to be tall if you're already small like Alivor? You don't need to be tall.
Just like suddenly coils into herself inexplicably.
she'll get taller when she sheds. Like, just a thing.
I turn to the mom. I'm assuming the mom.
Yes.
Yes. And I just could I ask where Flea was before the night of his disappearance?
And the mother sighs a little bit, and she's kind of like wrapping her hands in her apron a little bit, as it seems to still be a bit of a sore point for her. And says, "Yes, well, Flea did what he always does. He usually goes out into the square with his brother and sister, and they go around and play ball a little bit and get into various hijinks. I mean, it's not unheard of for them to cause a bit of mayhem. They usually don't do anything too particularly malicious. No, they don't go around, messing with people's houses or anything. So they may take an extra fruit here they may have laying out, or perhaps eat a small bite of their food or something like that, or
Alivor reminisces.
Perhaps pull out a vegetable too early from the garden or anything of that sort. But they simply like to go have fun. Most common thing they ever do is just knock on someone's door and run away giggling, as far as I know. So that seemed to be his day as normal. He did come home covered in a little bit of mud, but I mean, it was a bit wet that day, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just fell in or something.
And he disappeared during the night?
Yes, I tucked him into bed as always, and I kissed him goodnight, and when I went there the next morning, he's not an early riser. He wasn't there.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to accuse you of anything, but you don't seem quite concerned that your son is missing.
And she looks towards you for a moment and she says, "It is difficult, even as a parent, that I have my 2 children who I can't let them be too worried about it. If I show that I am worried for Flea, they will worry too. So as long as they're still around, I will put on a strong face. But I ran around the entire town that morning, looked around, trying to see if he had left any traces. I went to all the normal places he goes to. I asked all the neighbors, and I assure you, I nearly forgot to eat that day looking for him."
Speaking of, how is the daughter? Is she in the room right now?
No, as she walked in, she seemed to go elsewhere in the house. So she broke off from her mother.
Okay.
Can I run an insight check on this? Like, I don't know. I'm something's creeping me out.
Go ahead, Rosalba. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Absolutely.
I don't like her. She lost.
I don't. I can't roll today. A 7.
Yeah.
She's not. She's a city folk, you know.
You just see concern on her face, and she just seems to be kind of like nodding her apron a little bit. She seems to kind of just be rolling it in her hands, kind of gripping onto it, just to have something to kind of like actually physically feel, as far as you can tell.
All right then.
And do the kids share rooms, or do they have separate rooms?
Well, they did for a while. They used to have a very tall bunk bed that just went right about to the ceiling. Philly loved being on top because he was as tall as the ceiling when he was. But since then, we've added a few additions so that they can actually, have their own separate rooms and their own separate areas when they need to. But they very rarely spend time in them as is. It's mostly just a place for them to throw all their toys.
Well, everybody's been talking to the mom. Can I have, like, when the little girl broke off, Collier just went with her?
Sure. So you can look off in the direction that the little girl went, and she's going down a few hallways. Like this house is certainly organized, but it doesn't seem like a sort of traditional style of architecture for the actual layout of the house. There seems to be a bit more sharp turns rather than long hallways that kind of go to specific places. As it seems a bit, not claustrophobic per se, but that it's not a kind of style of house that you're actually used to in terms of the path that you have to take to follow her.
And she just so I can talk to her without the mom there to kind of see if she will say something that maybe you wouldn't say in front of your parents.
Sure.
A swear?
Yep, a whole butt. But so they just go in the room.
Yeah, she just goes into her room. The door to her room is smaller than the doors elsewhere in the house as you get there. So you have to duck down a little bit to kind of actually get into her room. And you see her, she just seems to have a little book that she is coloring in. And she's just kind of tilting her head side to side and humming to herself a little bit.
And Collier they're gonna kind of they bend down, but they don't go in the room. They sort of lean against the doorway while they're coloring and everything. And did they say what their name was?
She did not introduce her name. The mother did call her Atala, though.
Okay. So when's the last time you saw Flea?
Just the night before he went missing. We always play together.
Always?
Mm-hmm.
What do you normally do?
Well, we like to go throw the ball around, and sometimes we go to the old fields, the ones that they don't use anymore, and we like to plant seeds there, but they usually don't grow into anything.
When's the last time you did that? Why don't they grow there? And then they're gonna kind of come in and kind of look at they're slowly but surely sitting cross-legged in front of them and kind of looking at what they're doing, just really keeping the conversation easy while they kind of poke them for all this information.
And she says, I don't know.
Why don't they use the field anymore?
Well, they do, but they have the plants in one place, and then they moved them to another field, and so we usually try planting in the field where they moved away from.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Uh, that's really boring in there a little bit. I much prefer to color with you. Uh, so if we were to go out to the field, where would we go? And they're like, you should use the red there.
And she just grabbed the red, and she has like one like crayon in both hands. She's kind of like coloring at the same time, with kind of moving the sheet around as she's going at it. There doesn't seem to be like any actual design going on, just kind of going with the flow of how she's moving things around. And she says, well, we probably go to the fields they were using during the summer, and we just hang out around there. What's your name?
I'm Carl.
I call
Hi. What's your name?
Atala.
Allah. Yeah, that's a lot. I like that one a little bit better than mine.
My mama named me after her.
Sorry, my dog. Well, now are you supposed to be at that field? Because I don't want to get in trouble if I go there.
I mean, I'm not old enough to do anything important, but every now and then, Alasa would give me a few tips, but she's not here either anymore. So, I mean, I just kind of go there because we don't have a whole lot else to do around here, and I like my toys, but there's not a whole lot of children here.
Yeah, I saw that. There aren't a lot of kids in my village either.
Yeah.
Well, if I come by later, maybe I'll take you out to the field. And we can try to plant something pretty. But I should go back in there. I'm technically supposed to be doing a job.
Jobs seem boring.
They are very much so boring. Sometimes they can be fun. And sometimes you get to learn some really cool things. Next time I find out a cool secret, I'll share it with you. And then they're gonna kind of like get up and kind of wave, and they kind of slide back into the room with the others.
Yeah. And so you've all still been continuing to talk to the mother as she says, I mean, we're just keeping it together here as best as we can. It's tough losing the child. He wasn't the most adventurous lad, so I can't imagine he'd have gone anywhere he shouldn't have, but I don't know what it could have been.
Do you mind if we checked out his room?
Sure, you can certainly check out Flea's room. We've left it untouched since he went away, so it's going to be a little messy. So just watch your step as you go in there. I'm sorry, I haven't even offered you refreshments. Would you like something to drink?
I would love something to drink, thank you.
Of course. There were a few oranges we still have from the last harvest.
Alibor's gone already. He's gone to wherever the oranges are. Probably walking through the kitchen.
Alivor can really put it away.
He tries. It's a growing boy.
Well, that's good for him. And she kind of looks back, seeming like a little concerned, seeing Alivor just kind of like quickly strut over to the kitchen.
I do have a question. Was there anything that Flea had always, a token or something worn on his person?
Yes, actually. And that was one of the other weird things. He left behind a little wooden pin that he had made for him at a festival he went to when he was quite young. It has a small depiction of a red dragon on it, just the head of one. It's not very large. He would always tie it to his vest or shirt, or sometimes he's just hold it in his hands as he walked around.
And you said it was left behind?
Yes, it was just on his nightstand next to him. So I can't imagine he went willingly without it.
I'm going to use Firbolg magic and cast. Yes, cast detect magic. As I just kind of like casually, as she's talking to Batal, Liang just kind of closes his eyes and like takes a deep breath, and when he opens them, they've kind of like glossed over silver.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a look around.
Okay. In the house, immediately like around you, don't see anything magical. It seems to be a pretty mundanely built house, from what you can tell, just as you're kind of sitting about. And so, do you all want to head to Flea's room immediately?
Yeah, I think after I cast detect magic, I'm just gonna do like a scan across the room, and then just kind of like get up and just give like a nod to the mother, and then just walk around the entire house. And when I hit Flea's room, I've hit Flea's room. But if I can kind of like hit some other rooms as well, would not mind.
Yeah, does the kitchen, by the way,
Have any magical
Yeah,
auras?
no. I'm asking, is there any magic in the kitchen? No. Is there like an offshoot from the kitchen, like it goes to the rest of the house, and I can start snooping around?
No, the kitchen is actually connected to the little yard they have in the middle of there. It seems like it's not a whole lot there. There are a few patches that seem like they were meant to have flowers there, but a lot of them look like they're maybe not taken care of as well as they would like to be. The flowers don't look like they're dead, but they look like they're underwatered, as they're a little pale and have like a kind of a small sickly color to them. And you can see that there's a small swing that it has like only one swing actually on it, and there is like some sticks placed on the ground that seem to be in the orientation of like a hopscotch of some sort. And there is a small door that leads from the kitchen out there, but that is the only connection the kitchen has to the rest of the house, other than the immediate front room that you kind of came from.
All right, so I guess I'll just go back with the rest of the group for now. With orange in hand, tossing it.
And Tala leads you to Flea's room. She was like, go ahead. I was in the middle of cooking or baking a loaf for our dinner tonight, so I'm going to go back to doing that. If you need anything, please come by and feel free to ask, but please go ahead and search throughout the room if you wish.
Are there any magical auras or traces of energy left within this room?
Let me just double check the exact wording of something real quick.
Oh, those are
That's
auspicious words. The
I
wording.
got to ask the same question.
I guess, are you also casting Detect Magic, Rosalba? You are muted, Adelaide.
I pushed my mute button, of course. I actually don't have Detect Magic. Oh, no.
Okay, so as you're looking around, go ahead.
I was saying, if I see Adelaide like pat something down, and be like, I'll just like look at her and just like,
Okay,
the eyes
so
like glazed over.
I would like everyone to either make a perception or investigation check, whichever one you prefer. They're going to give you different things, but go ahead and just make those as a general check at the moment. And so as you're looking around, Leung, you do not see anything. Well, there is a small little like box that appears to be magical, but it's not of any particular school. It just has like very faint aura around it.
Can I argue for an Arcana check instead? Being a sorcerer, just not looking for like any like almost like I don't know if this is arguable, but less like I'm looking for a specific source of magic, but and more like kind of like the scent of it. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, absolutely. Because
like if there's
Arcana kind of
anything
helps you feel like
after.
a general feeling of magic, not
Right, like
aha,
something
that is an
happened
illusion. It's just
here.
kind of
Yeah.
Do I smell any
Exactly.
magics in here?
I smell magic.
I will certainly allow an Arcana check then.
Sweet.
I rolled,
rolled-
that 20.
I rolled 2 22s.
I got a 25 on my perception check.
Do we have to roll one
Damn.
or the other, or can we roll both?
Well, he
One
said
or
that.
the other.
Yeah, but they're
Never
gonna give
gonna
us
happen
different
again.
things.
Okay.
My character's gonna die. That's what's gonna happen. This is the last good roll I'll ever have.
You have seen beyond the veil of mortality. You are inflicted with permanent madness.
I rolled a dirty 20 for perception.
Okay.
Very nice. A 13 on Arcana.
Things I will not be
All right.
rolling. Intelligence.
And color, what did you roll? Or have you rolled yet?
Rolled an 18 on you said perception
Dang.
or the other one.
Or investigation, yeah.
We're good. What is this?
Nice.
Oh god, I hope we never get into combat.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be bad. But like right now, search a kid's room. That's our specialty.
We're fine. We're doing
Yeah,
great.
We're doing great. This is
The kid's been hiding under the bed the whole time.
Oh,
What a surprise!
Trying to go see
he was
kids.
under this pile of toys.
You know, this is why you can't buy kids too many toys. This is why you gotta like KonMari this shit.
Yeah, we just look in the room. It's just like stuffed animal, stuffed animal, stuffed animal, kids, stuffed animal, stuffed
Kid.
animal.
Yeah, it's his little like kobold tail poking out of like a mountain of toys.
Mystery solved. They're all probably under a big mound of stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals, a real threat to the safety of villages these days.
It's true. It's true.
All about the combat.
Absolutely.
It's mimics. It's all
Mimic,
Oh.
stuffed animal
mimic
mimics.
stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Alavor and Collier and Vital, all of you do notice that the mother said that this room would be messy, and it certainly is. I mean, you can see that there are toys kind of scattered about everywhere, but you notice that it seems oddly more organized next to the actual bed. Like it looks like the sort of like night table and like the sheets don't look. I mean, a kid as young as Flea has been applying to be so far, it seems like even if they were taken carefully in the night, that you would expect a bigger mess near the actual bed, be them like having brought toys to bed or just left clothes on the ground or just anything of the sort. But things are just, they're eerily neat. And for Rosalba, you get the feeling that it may not have been very like powerful magic of any particular sort, but you do get like this faint feeling of something like a sixth sense that like something magical probably happened here, but you're not sure
Like
of
the
any
LaCroix
specifics
of
about
magic
it.
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Hint
Magic
of-
The
hint of
magic-
Arcana.
the magic
dish
was-
soap.
The magic was washed under a stream, and that water was then bottled.
A magic user passed by the window at some point in the past week.
You're
Wait,
sensing
wait.
Leon.
You
Oh, no,
take a
wait.
sip.
You felt.
Abjuration wizard.
Oh man, now I'm gonna have to give you guys magical flavored drinks.
No,
You asked for it.
Do
You asked for
it.
it.
That sounds great.
Yes.
we're gonna misuse those.
So much.
Did
All
I?
of them.
Sorry. Did
Say
I see
that.
anything with detect magic or 20 perception?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you also notice that things are very oddly organized near the actual bed. And as for the magical, you're only seeing the actual like little box on one of the desks nearby.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
poke at that box.
poke at the box.
Okay,
I'm
so
going where Leon goes. I'm keeping an eye on him and seeing what he also reacts to. So
I'm just gonna be rummaging through where the
Magic
bed is, where it
buddies.
looks neat.
Yeah. Wherever Flea may have organized his room in some regard.
Oh,
Alamor's
I'm
about to ruin it.
destroying it.
okay, so as you get to the box, you can see that it's a small little wooden box that fits easily in your hand. Some sort of just seems to be like a little lid on top of it with a small hinge attached to the back of the box.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a light shake.
Okay,
It
yeah, you
explodes.
shake it.
What's in the
and-
box?
It's bees.
That's the end of the campaign. We didn't find out what's in the box. Sorry, you guys went to the box too early. Ruined everything.
There was a fireball in that box. Shouldn't have opened it.
AC 25. Let's go. As you like shake the box a little bit, you don't hear anything inside of it. Like there's no actual movement when you shake the box any.
I'm gonna just turn to Azalba, kind of raise an eyebrow. Should I open it?
And I don't
think
see
it's
why
safe.
not.
Well, this is a kid's room. I don't think it's trapped in any way.
If you don't open it, I'm gonna.
Are you huddled around this box right now?
Yes, Leon and I are.
I'm
you
like-
just with Rosalba as Kalir was like, if we opening things, you gonna be back here.
Leon like considers letting Alivor open the box and pops it open.
Ah.
All right. So as you pop open the box, you hear a little fart sound come out of the box, as there is just like some padded cushioning inside of it.
Wait. I close it. And then I open it again.
And if you open it again, and it makes the same little fart sound.
Kalir legit starts laughing. Like
Is
everything.
that
else-
it? Is that
I have it. Can I
That is
take
it.
this?
I love
Box
this
of
box.
farts.
I had almost forgotten what it was like to have siblings.
It's a wondrous item.
It's quite wonderful, isn't it?
Thought you were gonna say I'd almost forgotten what it's like to fart.
Guys, there is a kid missing.
There's a fart box.
She's the UNT, she's got us a cloaca, so you know.
Alivor's like on all fours, like looking under the bed and stuff, and he just starts losing it. It's so funny.
Okay, Kalir's gonna relay the information about the field to everybody while we're in here. He's like, okay, like they shut the box, like, okay, no, stop, for real. Whew, okay. There's a field. The little one and Flea used to go and try to plant things. They had interaction with Alatha.
That's
Wonderful.
What a connection.
That's wonderful and all, but do you know where they got this box?
No fart box. Because with you, I won't know if it's you or the box. And I don't want to find out later.
That's what's so interesting. You'll never know now.
I'll bury you in your sleep.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Just your lower half so you can fart into the ground. I'll do it.
And if you think about it, Zodiac is just one big fart box. And I put the box down and turn around and just like head over to the bed.
So poetic.
While you walk away like,
Alivor didn't
Like
get
Leon, perfectly serene.
The world is a fart box.
walks away.
My favorite Vampire Weekend song. You said you were approaching the bed, Leon?
Yes.
Better. Okay. So as you are what exactly are you doing, like near the bed? And Alvar, you do not see anything beneath the bed other than a few shed clothes, and what looks like what may have once been a popsicle stick, but is now just a stain on the floor.
Gross.
I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of I guess because I've clocked that the bed seems a bit more organized than the rest of the room. I would like to just like take a look around in that specific area and see if anything clocks my interest there. Because what it makes me think is that if there was some sort of struggle and whoever took Flea reorganized the room or like put the room back together, that might be why it's a bit more put together. So now I'm thinking it's more someone came in and took him than it was some sort of magical force just disappearing him.
Okay. So there are two little night tables on either side. There is a small like candle holder that is near one side. Looks like it hasn't been lit in some time now, but you can see that it's been used a good amount as the candle has been worn down a fair bit. Both of the little night tables have like a drawer in them. They're both painted blue, and that on the other side there are like little scraps of things. There's like a small little like what looks like a fistful of dirt maybe there, and there are like some like strings and just little bits that seem to have just been taken from outside, like little pebbles and stuff like that.
I'm gonna open the nightstand drawers just because I feel like everyone does that and it never does anything. But you have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you open up the first drawer where all the like dirt is and everything on top, it's mostly the same stuff that is on top of the table, just like a little pile of dirt in there that just has like stones and debris and like grass and stuff in it. And as you open the second drawer, you just find what appears to be like a small little metal box.
Any magic on it?
No, just a little metal box.
I take it.
Yeah,
And
it's a little hefty. It feels like it's probably made out of. When you looked at it, it was like it appeared smaller than it actually is now that you hold it in your hand. It's made out of some fairly thick metal.
I open it.
As you open it, you see a little pin of a red dragon on it.
So the thing that he always carried around was a flag of a red dragon, like a cloth, right?
No, it was like a little pin.
Oh, it was a pin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And as you are examining the pin, it is pinging illusory magic.
Oh,
Not sure what to chat.
I poke it.
Magic pin.
I like try to feel around to see where the illusory magic is covering the real thing.
Yeah, and so as you're kind of feeling about it, it seems like there actually isn't anything that is very, like particular about the shape. It looks like it is just like as you're feeling around for it, feels like it's just a simple like circular metal pin, like a flat disc of some sort, rather than like the actual shape that it appears to be.
I kind of think I'm like, oh, I don't have any dispersing magics right now.
You don't have any what magic?
And I blow really hard on it.
What
Does
else
the illusion go
know?
away?
It's a pin, like a shirt pin, like a brooch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, like yes.
Why not just put it on? We're all here.
Does the illusion go away?
The illusion does not go away when you
Okay,
blow
I shake it
no.
a bit.
That's not.
try this. Vital will take out his canteen and open it up and pour water on it, so you can see through it, but there's still something interacting with it.
Yeah, and that does work. You pour a little bit of water onto the pin, and you can see it is dripping down from the sides past where the actual image of the dragon is.
Okay, well, Wazaba said put it on. Seems like a good idea. What could go wrong? I put it on.
Okay, and you put it on, and you don't feel anything particularly odd when you put it on the pin, but I mean, it is dripping still on the floor.
You're drenched.
Val just flings water. Sorry, what was the mom's name again?
Allah.
Allah. Allah? Okay. I walk out to Allah and I excuse me. I've taken the pin off. I'm not just wearing it. It's back in its box, but I say, to your knowledge, the pin that Flea wore, was it actually of a dragon head, or was it an illusory dragon head? And I hold out the pin.
Yeah, she kind of tilts her head at that and says, it was a real pin. It was one of the couple of things he got from the festival we went to a few years ago, along with that little box of his.
Yes,
And
we've discovered that.
Does your son have
But-
any magical inclinations?
when you touched that pin, it did feel like a dragon's head pin.
I mean, the one that he always wore, yes. And not that I know of. I mean, he liked simple magical tricks such as his fight box, but he didn't actually have any inclination towards it. He didn't appear to have any natural affinity towards it, and he didn't go seeking out how to wield it of any sort, to my knowledge.
You hear faintly in the other room.
Thank you. And I
course.
head back. I want to run my thumb over the top of the pin of the circle. Do I feel any like engravings or like any like slight ridges of text?
No. When you run your finger over it, as far as you can tell, it is just a plain flat disc. There's nothing in particular about it.
No one has identified, do they?
There
I
might
can
be
only do
some
half of
sort
this.
Code
Well,
word or something that he used to make it activate.
Do you still have? Everybody still has the pen. Collier would like to see the pen.
Oh yes, I hands the pin over to Collier.
Yay! It's been handed. Oh wow, that was a lot of D's. I do have that one thing, and I would like to cast Identify on.
Okay, so you cast Identify on this little pin of sorts, and you do get that it is an illusory spell, and that the spell was cast within the last month. The effect on this pin is very recent.
And when did they get this pin again?
Years ago, like 2 years ago, right? It was at a fair
When did
When
he
did the
disappear?
festival- What?
about a month ago.
If you still wearing
No,
this pin,
no, less than a
I-
month ago. He was the wasn't he the third victim?
Yeah.
So that would have been around a month ago.
I
Within the
possess
month.
a spell that might allow me to find a person wearing a certain object like this. But I have to be close. So
Leong is gonna rack his brains and try to
Rack
think about.
brain. Shake the salad.
He's gonna try to think about any importance about red dragons. Why would someone want to take it? Do they have any like symbolic connections, or are they the mascots of any particularly malicious groups that he has heard of as of late?
Okay, go ahead, and I will say make a history check.
Oh baby, let's do this.
Oh
'Cause
boy.
I have just the best intelligence.
Don't lie.
I believe in you.
You
I-
should not.
I don't.
1.
Nat?
Nope. If it was a
Okay.
natural one, it'd be a 0.
Uh,
Um.
lucky
Oh, this
roll.
feels important.
You do.
Not a natty. Bane 01. It is
Not a
not a
natty.
natty one. It is a
we're
dirty
still
one.
good.
That was a
Oh.
2.
Was so I was recommending. I mean,
I'm actually
dragons-
going to use
You don't know what a dragon
oh,
is.
Deadfink gave me a lucky point, and I'm gonna
Okay.
use it.
Don't.
Because this feels
Oh.
important,
Oh no.
and also I need the help.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no.
Watch me get a natty one.
Oh no.
Stop.
13, baby.
Okay.
13. All right. So you know that dragons in general are a symbol of power and strength. You think maybe a kid just seemed to be, attracted to that, but you also know that a red dragon in particular, especially near Morion, is almost seen as a bad omen for some people because where dragons don't tend near the coast, and people may covet a symbol of something of that sort.
Dragons.
Is that all you got from that?
That's all he says.
Just staring at a symbol of a dragon on a fan and saying dragons.
Dragons. This sure is what a dragon looks like. If it was red.
You want to go sit
I love
down,
it.
buddy? You're having a hard time. It's okay.
You know, red dragons are not good dragons. There could be some people who want this for bad auspicious reasons.
We might be able to find some kind of link if we find these same pins with other people, the other disappeared people.
That was very, what is the word? Coherent for you.
Believe it or not, I have thoughts. It's
Hey.
amazing. Every now and again, I'll just
How hungry are you now?
very.
There.
Can I
just want to keep moving.
I walk out of the house.
The whole house?
Yeah,
You jump out the window.
the whole house. And before I go, I'm just gonna ask Ala if she knows where Tolkor's family is.
Yes, they may be out in the woods at this time, but they are often by their house. You could probably drop by and say hello to them.
Oh, right. Yes, I will.
It's just him and his pants.
And then I turn around and walk back into the room, and I'm just like, I had a thought. It's a really good one. I got really excited. But what if the people who were taken are the only people in this town who've bought the pins?
That's
We
what
could
that's what I said.
Is that what you said?
That's what
that
I
what you
said. It's a great thought. I had that.
It's a good thought.
Yeah, you're
It's a good
right.
thought.
It's a good idea.
It's a good thought.
Thank you.
We should
Before
also.
we leave, Alir would like to ask Allah if they know exactly why the village stopped using part of that field.
Yeah, she'll say it's just agriculture. We like to sow certain parts of the field during certain actual seasons, and moving the crops makes it so they grow better and they still maintain fertile soil. That's all.
No, she said nothing ever grew when they put it there, even though they got killed.
They never watered them.
What?
The children, they're wonderful
They
children,
never
but they
went back to take care of them.
no.
Okay. Okay.
See ya.
And Beetle, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I wanted to say, they came back covered in mud. There was water coming from somewhere. Do you think it was raining when our carpenter friend went out for wood?
Not to mention the children said that they had help from Halassa. An adult would certainly know to water a plant.
Especially one that works there.
And as you said, she says, that. Well, I don't think it was raining on the day Tolkor went missing, but I do remember a strange mist coming into town. When I get that sort of mist during this time of year, often.
And no one thought to mention that.
It seemed so innocuous.
We asked for strange events.
It has been
I
a
mean, who
busy
doesn't
month.
who doesn't keep track of the mist, the coming goings of mist in their town?
Liang, this person just lost their child. Let's keep it moving.
Liang is very passionate about mist cycles.
It's true. I just also want to point out it's misty every day in Wake. Like, it's always
Wake's real misty. It
Fair.
happens.
Here's
Anyway.
a different
It is
Found
not
our
misty every
first
day where he's
clue,
from,
guys.
so
We have a clue.
We've got a Scooby clue. Let's go. Let's go, team.
Let's go, Scoot.
All right, and with what appears to be your first clue in this investigation, we're going to take a quick 15-minute break, everyone. So if all of you need to go refill your water bottles, do stay hydrated. Hydration is important. Go ahead and do that now. If you got to take any other sort of breaks, we'll be back in just a few. So please stay tuned for the second part of tonight's episode. And thank you all for watching so far. We are very happy to have you all here. So we'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.